I am your host, Jack Henry.
Hi, everyone. I am Sarah Henry, your co-host. I'm so excited to be here today because we're talking about something every English learner wants: how to master English speaking.
Absolutely. Speaking English fluently can feel tricky at first. Many learners struggle with fear, hesitation, or just not knowing what to say. But don't worry. We're here to guide you step by step.
Yes, and I know exactly how that feels. I remember when I first tried speaking English, I was so nervous I would pause a lot, search for words, and sometimes even avoid speaking.
Oh, I've been there too. But the good news is, with the right tips, practice, and mindset, anyone can improve and start speaking confidently.
In this episode, we'll share practical strategies, easy exercises, and real-life examples to help you speak English naturally and confidently. By the end of this podcast, you'll feel motivated to start practicing immediately.
Exactly. So, if you're ready to take your English speaking skills to the next level, grab a notebook, relax, and let's get started. All right, Sarah, before we dive into tips and exercises, let's talk about why speaking English is so important.
Yes, Jack. So many learners focus only on reading or writing, but speaking is the key skill that opens doors. Whether it's traveling, studying abroad, or working in an international company, speaking English confidently can make a huge difference.
Exactly. For example, imagine you're traveling to another country. You can read signs and menus, but if you can't communicate with locals, your experience might be limited. Speaking English helps you connect with people, ask questions, and even make friends.
Absolutely. And it's not just about travel. In jobs and careers, English has become a global language. People who can speak English fluently often get better opportunities, promotions, and networking chances.
Yes, and here's something interesting. Learning to speak English also improves your thinking and confidence. When you can express your thoughts clearly, you feel more confident in social situations, in meetings, or even online.
That's so true. And don't forget, speaking English can also open doors to learning. Many books, courses, and online resources are in English. If you can speak and understand English, learning new skills becomes much easier.
Exactly, Sarah. So, whether it's career growth, travel, education, or personal development, speaking English fluently is a skill that can change your life.
Yes, and the best part? Anyone can learn it with the right practice and mindset. That's why in this podcast, we'll share practical tips to help you start speaking confidently today.
Perfect. Now that we understand why speaking English matters, let's move to the next step: overcoming fear and shyness, because that's the first challenge most learners face. All right, one of the biggest challenges for English learners is fear and shyness. Many people hesitate to speak because they're afraid of making mistakes.
Yes, Jack. And I get it. When you're just starting, it feels scary. You might think, what if I say something wrong? Or what if people laugh at me? But here's the truth. Making mistakes is normal. Every fluent speaker started with mistakes.
Exactly. Mistakes are actually a sign that you're learning. The key is to not let fear stop you from speaking. Start with small steps, like talking to yourself in English or practicing simple sentences daily.
Another tip is to practice with friends or language partners. Even if they make mistakes too, it creates a safe space to practice and gain confidence.
I also recommend recording yourself speaking. When you listen later, you'll notice improvements and areas to work on. It might feel strange at first, but it really helps you overcome shyness.
Yes, and don't forget, everyone learns at their own pace. Don't compare yourself to others. Focus on progress, not perfection.
Exactly. And here's a small trick. Pretend you're a teacher or guide explaining something to someone. This way, you focus more on sharing knowledge rather than worrying about mistakes.
That's a great idea, Jack. Remember, the more you practice, the more confident you become. Fear and shyness will slowly disappear.
Absolutely. So, don't wait for the perfect moment. Start speaking today, even with small sentences. Every word you speak is a step closer to fluency. All right, Sarah. Now that we've talked about confidence, let's move to something very practical. Vocabulary and phrases you must know.
Yes, many learners focus only on individual words, but the truth is, learning phrases is much more effective. Phrases help you speak naturally and sound like a native speaker.
Exactly. For example, instead of just learning the word happy, you can learn phrases like, I'm so happy today, or that makes me really happy. It's easier to use in real conversations.
Another tip is to learn common greetings and questions. Simple phrases like, how are you? What do you think? Or can you help me? Are used all the time in everyday English.
Yes, and don't forget responses. For example, instead of just saying yes, you can say yes, of course, absolutely, or sure, no problem. It makes your conversation flow more naturally.
Also, learning phrases for different situations is very helpful. For example, at a restaurant, could I have the menu, please? While traveling, where's the nearest bus station? At work, can I share my idea with you?
Exactly, Sarah. And the key is to practice these phrases regularly. Repeat them out loud, use them in conversations, and try to remember them naturally instead of translating from your native language.
Yes. Start with 5 to 10 new phrases every week, and slowly you'll notice your speaking becomes much smoother and more confident.
Perfect. Learning phrases is a game changer for English learners. And once you combine it with confidence, speaking English becomes much easier. All right, now let's talk about a tip that many learners underestimate. Listening to speak better.
Yes, Jack. Listening is one of the most important skills for improving your speaking. When you listen to English often, you learn pronunciation, rhythm, and natural expressions without even realizing it.
Exactly. For example, If you listen to English podcasts, songs, or movies regularly, your brain starts to recognize how words are spoken together, the intonation, and even the pace of natural speech.
And it's not just about understanding words. Listening also helps you think in English because you start getting used to the sounds and patterns of the language.
That's right. One practical tip is to repeat after the speaker. For instance, listen to a sentence, pause, and then try to say it exactly like they did. This helps with pronunciation and fluency.
Yes, another great method is to listen actively. Instead of just hearing English, focus on how sentences are structured and what phrases are commonly used. You can even write down new words and phrases to practice later.
And don't worry if you don't understand everything at first. Listening regularly helps your brain adapt to the language, and over time, you'll notice your speaking improves naturally.
Exactly. Listening plus repeating plus practicing is a powerful combination. It's like training your brain to speak English the way native speakers do.
So, remember, listen every day, repeat phrases, and try to mimic the pronunciation. Your speaking skills will grow faster than you expect. All right, Sarah. Now we're getting to one of the most important tips. Practice makes perfect.
Yes, Jack. Speaking English is a skill, and like any skill, it improves with regular practice. You can't expect to master it overnight, but small, consistent efforts can make a huge difference.
Exactly. One simple way to practice is to talk to yourself in English. Describe what you're doing, explain your plans for the day, or even tell a story. It might feel strange at first, but it really works.
Another tip is to practice with friends, classmates, or online language partners. Even short conversations every day will help you gain confidence and improve your fluency.
Yes, and don't forget about using technology. Apps, AI chatbots, and online speaking exercises can give you opportunities to practice speaking whenever you want.
Also, try recording yourself speaking. Listen to the recording and notice areas where you can improve your pronunciation, sentence structure, or even your speed.
And here's an important point. Practice consistently, even 10 to 15 minutes a day. Small daily practice is much more effective than practicing once a week for hours.
Absolutely. The key is to speak regularly without worrying about mistakes. Every word you speak is a step closer to mastering English.
So remember, the more you speak, the better you'll get. Practice makes perfect, and your confidence will grow with every conversation. All right, Sarah, we've talked about practicing, but here's a question. What about mistakes? Many learners get afraid of making them.
Yes, Jack. And honestly, mistakes are a natural part of learning. Every fluent speaker made countless mistakes when they were starting out. The key is to learn from them instead of feeling embarrassed.
Exactly. One tip is to notice your mistakes without judgment. For example, if you said a sentence incorrectly, repeat it correctly a few times and try to use it right next time.
Another helpful method is to ask for feedback. If you're practicing with a friend, teacher, or language partner, let them gently correct you. It's one of the fastest ways to improve.
Yes. And remember, mistakes show that you are trying. And trying is how progress happens. Don't avoid speaking just because you're afraid of errors.
Exactly. The more you correct and practice, the faster you'll improve. Mistakes are not failures. They're stepping stones to fluency.
So embrace your mistakes, learn from them, and keep speaking confidently. That's the secret to becoming fluent in English. All right, Sarah. Now let's talk about a powerful tip. Thinking in English. Many learners make the mistake of translating from their native language, and that slows down speaking.
Exactly, Jack. When you translate in your head, it takes extra time and you might even forget words or make mistakes. But if you train yourself to think directly in English, your speaking becomes much faster and smoother.
One simple exercise is to narrate your day in English. For example, while brushing your teeth, you can think, I am brushing my teeth. I need to finish and get ready.
Yes. Another tip is to practice short thoughts in English throughout the day. Even simple things like I'm hungry or it's a beautiful day help train your brain.
And don't worry if it feels strange at first. The more you practice thinking in English, the more natural it becomes. Soon, you'll notice your sentences coming out automatically without hesitation.
Exactly. Thinking in English is like training your mind to speak fluently without translating, and it's one of the fastest ways to improve your speaking skills.
So start small, practice daily, and soon you'll see a huge improvement in your fluency. All right, Sarah, let's quickly recap what we've covered today. We started by understanding why speaking English is so important, then talked about overcoming fear and shyness.
Yes. Then we discussed learning useful vocabulary and phrases, listening to improve your speaking, and how practice makes perfect. We also learned that making mistakes is normal and a key part of learning.
And don't forget, we talked about thinking in English, which helps you speak more naturally and fluently without translating.
Exactly. The key takeaway is start speaking every day, even if it's just a few sentences. Small steps, repeated consistently, lead to big improvements over time.
Yes, remember, fluency is a journey, not a destination. Be patient with yourself, stay consistent, and celebrate every small victory along the way.
You've got this. Every word you speak is a step closer to mastering English. Keep practicing, stay confident, and don't let fear hold you back.
Absolutely. So keep speaking, keep learning, and remember, you can do this. All right, everyone. That's it for today's episode on how to master English speaking. We hope you found these tips helpful and easy to start practicing right away.
Yes, remember, fluency comes with daily practice, patience, and confidence. Keep speaking, make mistakes, and learn from them. Every small step counts.
If you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode.
And we'd love to hear from you. Comment below with your favorite tip from today or share your own English learning experience. Your story can inspire others.
Thank you so much for listening.